Welcome to the video. I was going to say welcome to sunny England. At least it was sunny about 5 minutes ago, but now it's windy and overcast. It's slightly wrecking my will to live, but that's a side issue. We're going to check out this e-bike today and hopefully you enjoy the video. This is the ADO Air 20S. It was loaned to me by ADO to make a video for you guys. And it's quite a feature-packed bike. You'll be pleased to see it's not in the usual matte black or matte grey colours I normally go for, as they didn't have those in stock, so they sent me this nice blue one instead, which I still, of course, appreciate. But this is quite a feature-packed bike, and I'm going to be running through all of these features for you today in this video. But let me give you a quick overview of why this bike is quite interesting. So it is quite lightweight, weighing in at 18 kilos. I wouldn't call it maybe light. I mean, I've seen some people review this bike and they're like, oh, it's super light, it's easy to handle. It still has a bit of heft and weight to it. I mean, 18 kilos isn't nothing, but for its size, that is good for this bike and all the features that you're getting. It's also foldable. It has really strong hydraulic disc brakes. It's got a torque sensor. It's belt driven. It even has app support. So there really is a lot of value in this bike, and I definitely think it's going to be worth checking out if you're in the market for one, especially one that is on the smaller side and more compact. Now, in some of the clips of me riding this bike, if it looks like I'm shrinking or getting smaller, I'm not. It's actually this seat. So as much as I've tightened the quick release here, it's still not tight enough, of course. So this seat is lowering as I'm riding and going over bumps. So just bear that in mind. You might see the camera angle when I'm riding, or just footage of me slowly getting lower to the ground. Lastly, if you enjoy this video and would like to support me, you can use my link down below to purchase this bike, and I'll also get some kickback from that as well.
Let's run through the features for anyone who skips to this part of the video. So this bike is foldable. It's using a carbon belt. It weighs in at 18 kilos. It's also got front suspension and a claimed max range of approximately 62 miles. There's a torque sensor and hydraulic disc brakes. There's even app support via the ADO e-bike app. Compared to other e-bikes I've received, I think this one has come in the most compact box I've seen so far, and it does also offer quite a simple setup as the front wheel is already attached, whereas on all the other e-bikes I've received, I think bar one, I had to attach the front wheel myself. Now this isn't a really technical thing to do, but it just adds an extra step and you need a little bit more time for setup. To get this bike up and running, you need to attach the handlebars and adjust them slightly. You need to slide in the seat. You also need to attach the front and rear mudguard, attach the pedals, and then you're pretty much good to go besides pumping up the tires. Let's take a closer look at the design of this bike, how it folds up, how the battery is utilized and taken in and out, and some of the smaller details as well. I was happy to see when I received this bike that it at least has front suspension, as I often recommend in my other e-bike videos, never get an e-bike if it has no suspension at all, as the riding experience is going to be very uncomfortable. I will talk about this more when I demonstrate me riding the bike later on, and you'll also see me seeing how heavy it feels here, and you'll see I can lift it up with one hand. It is, I would say, reasonably heavy. If you need to carry this onto like a bus or something like that, if you are quite a small person or you don't really have a lot of strength, I would say this bike is still going to feel heavy for you. But of course, this is a much more manageable option over a lot of other e-bikes. Here I'm going to demonstrate the adjustment of the front handlebars, which is just done via a quick release. So there is quite a lot of play in the adjustment of this bike if you are quite tall or maybe you're a bit shorter. And it's the same with the seat as well. There's quite a lot of adjustment you can do. Also, make sure you tighten the screw on the side for these quick adjustments so these aren't moving around while you're riding. For reference, I'm just under 5'11" if you'd like to know how tall I am. Let's take a look at the folding of the bike. So this does have foldable pedals, which is a nice extra touch. However, it can be a little bit of a downside having folding pedals, as it's an extra mechanism that can break, and I have heard this happen to people occasionally. I haven't experienced it myself, but it is something worth bearing in mind. You could of course replace these quite easily if you wanted to with just standard pedals. The handlebars also fold down to the side, and then there's a mechanism on the side which unclips, and this enables you to fold the bike in half. All of this feels very sturdy, but the only thing I noticed is there's nothing underneath to rest the bike on the floor. Often some foldables have a piece of metal that you can rest it on if you fold it down, but this is just a minor thing. It's not really going to cause you any issues. Then of course you could carry this onto a bus or put it into the boot of your car. So it is compact and Like I said, the weight is manageable and a lot easier to deal with than having a full-size e-bike. The battery's power connector can be disconnected by twisting the lock and pulling it off, and it has a satisfying click when you push it into place, and it will lock in and enable the bike to get power from the battery. There's also a dedicated power button on the battery that you need to push down, and it will illuminate green before you can turn on the bike from the LCD display. You will have noticed by now that the battery is stored in the seat post, which is a very clever design as it allows the rest of the bike frame to be sleek and stylish. But it's also easy to take in and out as it's just done via the quick release on the seat, as you'll see me doing here. The battery can be charged in or out of the bike simply just by using the charging cable, and there's a little flap at the top where you insert the cable. It takes approximately 4 to 6 hours to fully charge the battery. You can use the bike's bright display to customize your power assist levels, and it shows you all of your readings such as your battery life and trips. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an accident and scratched my screen, in case you're wondering why it looks like this. The bike has bright front and rear lights. The front light can be turned on using the control panel or via the app. Unfortunately, the rear light isn't connected to the main system and has to be turned on via a little button underneath it. Overall, the design of the bike feels well made. The only small thing I didn't really like was the front and rear mudguards, which I felt just looked a little bit cheap and goofy. Other than that, I did like the design of the bike overall. I'm not using my standard setup at the moment with my microphone, so I do apologize if the audio quality isn't quite as good as usual, but we're going to be taking a look at the app support that this bike has, and it's really worth talking about because in a lot of my older e-bike reviews, one of the things I've said is please add app support for your e-bike and give us smart features. And I'm pleased to see, even though this is a bit of an older bike, it does have app support, which makes it feel more premium and lets you customize some of the features. So when I first connected this to the bike, it was really seamless and worked well. There was no connection issues, which I have had some issues with in products in the past. It automatically recognized the color of my bike, which was cool as well. So you can customize a few things from within this app, such as turning your light on and off. This is just your front light, as the rear light is battery powered. You can also go into the settings for the bike and customize a few things. So if we go into the bike settings here, we can change the speed measurement. So instead of kilometers an hour, you can change it to miles per hour. You can expand the pedal assist modes on here as well, so you get a little bit more variability in the power that you're getting. And there's just a few additional things in here as well, like displaying the voltage being used on the bike screen as well. What's really cool is, although this bike doesn't have some more smart features that I would have liked, maybe like an alarm or the ability to lock the motor, it does have a really cool GPS feature, which I've never seen in an e-bike before. And that is, you can enter a GPS destination on here, and you actually get directions on the main screen, which is really cool. I've never seen this before. Now, in some of the other versions, the upgraded version of this bike, I think there's an Ultra or a Pro version. I think this might have some additional features that this one doesn't have. So do check that out if you want maybe some more smart features or some more in-depth app support. But I will check that in the video and put something up on the screen for you. But yeah, it's really nice that we have these extra options, and it makes the product feel more premium and lets you just customize some things from your smartphone, which is a bit more convenient. You can also get a phone holder for this bike, so you can strap your phone to the handlebars as well. So just extra stuff that makes the product feel that little bit more premium. There's one thing you're going to notice very quickly when you start riding this bike, and that is that it's very quiet. Now you'll hear in the background there is some noise from the bike components moving, but it's very minimal. This is due to the belt-driven system that it's using, as a chain will make more noise and rattle a little bit while you're moving along, and because it has quite a quiet motor as well. I wouldn't go as far as call the motor silent. You do hear a little bit of a whine from it at times, but overall the bike is very quiet, and it's kind of hard to tell this is an electric bike if you was to go past someone, as it's not really making much noise. Some of those features we mentioned earlier really come into play to helping this bike's riding experience feel quite good, and one of those is the torque sensor. And what essentially this enables the bike to do is, instead of being more of an on and off system for the pedal assist, it's a little bit more like a curve. So as you pedal, it gradually gives you more power assistance, and this feels smoother than a system that doesn't have a torque sensor. While it's not completely necessary or an essential item to have, it just makes the riding experience feel more premium and a lot more smoother, like you're riding a normal bike. When you couple this with the motor, which is able to get you up to speed smoothly and quickly, along with the front suspension, which adds to riding comfort, and then the belt driven system, which also reduces the noise when you're pedaling, this adds up to be quite a comfortable, enjoyable riding experience. If you're looking for an e-bike which is going to give you some thrills, this might not be the best option for you, as it seems to cater towards a comfortable, smooth riding experience. And we'll talk about the suspension a little bit more in a bit. You do have some additional benefits to that belt-driven system, which should require less maintenance overall than a chain system, along with the other advantages of the noise. As you just saw me demonstrating there, the hydraulic disc brakes on this bike feel really premium and effective. It was actually to the point when I first started riding this bike that they felt a little bit overkill. Now, hydraulic disc brakes are often preferred over mechanical disc brakes because of their more robust design and feel. They just offer a greater braking experience overall. Mechanical disc brakes can often feel a little bit squishy, like you have to pull the lever really hard for them to engage effectively, whereas hydraulic disc brakes just feel much more robust in the sense that when you pull the lever, they do their job much more firmly and much more quickly. While I wouldn't recommend this bike for a lot of off-roading, the front suspension does make it bearable in some light off-roading situations like you can see me in here. As I mentioned before, in my personal experience, I wouldn't recommend buying a bike that has no suspension on it at all, as the experience can be very uncomfortable the moment you go off a perfect surface. Now, we all know, unless you live in a pristine area with pristine bike lanes, which is generally isn't a thing in most of the UK, you are going to be going over some bumps at some point, and having some suspension on the bike is just going to make that riding experience a little bit more comfortable. The front suspension does of course add a little bit of extra weight, or at least it would in most circumstances. The more suspension you add to a bike, the more weight that you're adding, but I do feel like the trade-off here is definitely worth it, as it just makes that riding experience a little bit more smoother on most of the surfaces you're going to be riding on. While I didn't have time to do a full range test for this bike, I've seen other reviewers stating that they were able to get 30 plus miles for this bike, and sometimes even more. When you consider the size of this bike and its weight, this is quite impressive, and I would probably say slightly above average. When you consider most trips you'll be doing will probably be within this range, I feel like this battery performance would be adequate for quite a lot of people. And that brings us to the end of the video, and here are my final thoughts on this product. I think ADO have created a well-rounded package here which feels premium in some areas, and I think offers quite good value for what you're actually paying for this bike. Now, it's always important to get a second opinion if you're thinking of purchasing an e-bike, as it is quite an expensive product. So as always, please watch multiple reviews before deciding on whether to purchase this product or not. But in my experience, I've been quite pleased with it, and I don't think you'll have any issues besides some of the small details that I've mentioned. If you've owned or used this e-bike yourself, please leave your feedback down below so people can make a decision on whether they should purchase this product or not. If you have enjoyed the video, you can use my link down below to purchase this product while also helping support my channel. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more videos like this one. And of course, I will see you in the next one.